I'm Callie, a 28-year-old mixed media artist who's on a quest to stay curious, you could say. I've got, in this video, the interactive junk journal spreads that you've been looking for. How do I know that you've been looking for them? Well, my YouTube analytics has been really dropping hints that I should be making scrapbook interactive, junk journal interactive pages. And I'm down, you know, I already am doing that in this beloved scrapbook I have here. I feel like I've been on a roll. I went into my scrapbook last night and I found at least 8 really good interactive ideas that I think are worth sharing. So if you want to see a speedy video that has like a bunch of interactive ideas, comment interactive, pretty please. I wonder what theme I should choose to go with the interactive pages. Recently, I had a mixed media painting of mine in a friend's gallery show, Creatives of Toronto. My piece was called Trading for Trinkets, inspired by Toronto, as well as my crafty, trinket-loving, collecting junk for my journal type vibes. It's the local raccoons trading trinkets to get access to the elite bins, and as part of the piece, I wanted viewers to be able to interact too. So I left a bunch of tiny raccoon prints that people could take in exchange for leaving an item, and it was super successful. I had so much fun seeing all of the things that people had in their bags to trade. Now that is the perfect event/memory to capture in my scrapbook, especially in an interactive way, because I wanted to feel like you're actually there at the gallery and are able to interact with the artwork. So it's time for the most intimidating part. I mean, not intimidating, scratch that. It'll be easy, bro, trust me. You want it to look intimidating so that it has that wow factor. Just grab a bunch of paper with a bit of thickness to them. These ones are about 68 pound, but you can use whatever. And our first quest is going to be to make a pop-up room, which I've never made before. Kind of just making it up as I go, you know. I saw a video and I just kind of copied like the general structure of it. I knew that we were going to have to use some tabs, so I basically just took a paper the size of the pop-out I wanted and added 2 tabs along the edge. And then I did exactly the same on another piece of paper, but putting the tabs on the opposite sides. I do use this little bone folder to like get a really precise bend on the paper, but it's definitely not necessary. You can use literally anything. The amount of times I like flipped the papers around and felt extreme confusion was a lot, but like watching it in video form, it seems relatively simple. So that second piece of paper we added is basically going to be the floor, and it's going to have to be the piece that bends down and then pops up. And in the TikTok video I saw that had a pop-up room, they had like furniture in the room, and that's next level. But that's one reason why I thought a pop-up would be perfect for the gallery space, because the gallery space doesn't have any furniture. I did cut some of the little corner edges off there. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but it just felt like it folded better with less paper all bunched up in the corner there. And I just fastened the edges together using trusty old glue stick and some tape as well for reinforcement. And it's truly coming together now. The last piece that we need to add is just the back panel so that it would cover up the tabs and just have the full effect of a different space. We gotta get the structure in place before we decorate, so our second interactive piece is going to be a pull tab where I can pull it back and forth and change the image that's showing up on the page. I got inspired by an art show in Toronto called Artist Project, and there was one artist who had these like pull tabs in her artwork, and it was so like beautiful and amazing. I stuck it behind one sheet and I glued the 2 scrapbook pages together everywhere other than where the pull tab was. I also fastened the bottom with a little piece of tape so that it wouldn't fall out. Alright, yay, now it's time to do some designing and fanciful work. So I'm creating the floorboards by just adding a little bit of brown paint to make it look like wood, and then using my brush pen to add some details. I drew in some plants and frames, and then the main component is my art piece that I printed out on a tiny scale. The main interactive part of my art piece was the bag that was for trading trinkets, so that was the part that I wanted to feel like you could interact with in the sketchbook as well. So I started sketching out the bag. The idea is that as you're looking through the bag at all of the traded trinkets, you can pull the pull tab and have more of a tangible experience of like searching through the bag or choosing which trinket to put in the bag yourself. I actually think it turned out so perfectly for the theme. People are low-key obsessed with like this traded trinket, what's in my bag. It's been my most popular video on like Instagram and TikTok over the last like year even. It was so fun to see all of the different things that people left and how they got excited to interact with it. I had to look back at the video to remember some of the items that they drew so that I could put it into the piece. Some special ones was like a tiny hot sauce, and there was a tea light candle. There was like this tiny little figurine of like a balloon dog. It was like really cute, perfect for the trinket shelf. I did feel like since it was kind of simple, I needed to add some color, so I used my little on-the-go watercolor palette just to add a little bit of color to everything. I finished up the exterior of the Worth gallery on the other side. So it's basically like you're looking at the gallery and then you can open it up and enter into the space. And then on the right side you can interact with the artwork. I'm actually obsessed with this. And to finalize everything, I need to add a little bit of text and information. So I grabbed one of my newest products. It's a scrap sheet. If you're looking to level up your journal pages, you should check out my scrap sheets on Etsy. Each themed bundle is a high-res digital download where you just need to print, cut, and paste. From garden and mushroom themes to birthday themes to classic ransom note font. I got this little date stamper at a garage sale recently, which I thought was such a fun thing to find. I'm actually so proud of the scrapbook spread. I think it turned out perfectly. Let's look at some final shots. Thanks for chilling with me while I did this kind of recap page from my gallery show in interactive form. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got inspired to try one of these ideas. I love doing this kind of stuff and I love experimenting with mixed media. So follow along if you want to do some more scrapbooking or journaling with me.